Coming up on Sports Weekly, we got some big high school football coaching news to pass along at San Gorgonio, plus one of our local favorites, Alexander Mattison of the Minnesota Vikings and San Bernardino High School is signing a new contract to stay with the Vikings. Plus, we will check in with Cal State San Bernardino head men's basketball coach Andy Newman as the Yotes are headed to the Elite Eight in the NCAA Division II National Tournament. Plus, we got some softball highlights, a big battle in the Mountain Valley League as Rubidoux took on Pacific, and some highlights from the baseball diamond as well as San Gorgonio took on Bloomington, who Bloomington's the number team in the CIF Southern Section Division 6 rankings. We got those highlights plus Aquinas at the County Clash. And speaking of Aquinas, how about some beach volleyball at Aquinas? Yes, the Falcons, one of the few teams in the IE to sport a girls beach volleyball team this season. We got those details and a lot more on this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG, and it starts right now. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We got a really jam-packed show this week. We've got some baseball and softball highlights a little bit later in the show, and we'll also talk some beach volleyball at Aquinas High School. But right now, we're leading the show off with some big-time football news. In fact, two big local stories involving football, and one of them being at San Gorgonio High School. Head coach Rich McClure has decided to step down after 6 seasons at San G. That's a video of him when they won the 2018 CIF Southern Section Division IX title. Coach McClure stepping down as he will become the new head football coach at Heritage High School. And if Heritage sounds familiar for local football fans in San Bernardino, it's because Heritage and Cajon High School had some really good battles in the last, I'd say, 5 or 6 years. And now Rich McClure will be the head coach at Heritage, which it's not the same Heritage team. He's trying to rebuild that program, but he's going to give it a shot after San G. 6 seasons at San G, 32 wins, 29 losses in 6 years on the job, including that 2018 championship in Division IX. So best of luck to head coach Rich McClure, one of our favorite guys here on Sports Weekly. We know he's going to do a great job at Heritage, certainly going to miss him at San G. So now the active search is on to find his replacement for the Spartans. That's big football story number one. The second one is Alexander Mattison from San Bernardino High School has re-signed with the Minnesota Vikings. After 4 seasons with Minnesota, he has signed a 2-year contract worth over $7 million. So congratulations to Alexander Mattison. In 4 years with Minnesota, he had nearly 1,700 rushing yards. He had 11 rushing touchdowns. He had 3 receiving touchdowns as well. So he did a lot of good things for Minnesota. And a great tandem with Dalvin Cook, the other running back for the Minnesota Vikings, who's regarded as one of the top running backs in the NFL. So you would think Alex probably had a chance to go to another NFL team and probably be the starting running back, but he's got a great spot in Minnesota. They are very good. This is a Super Bowl caliber team, and when he teams up with Dalvin Cook, that is probably the best 1-2 running back punch in the NFL. So congratulations to our guy, Alexander Mattison, on the new contract with the Minnesota Vikings. All right, now switching gears, I guess this is probably the third really big story this week, and it is Cal State San Bernardino men's basketball. The Yotes on their way to the Elite Eight National Tournament in Division II. That is because they beat the number 1 seed in the West region, Point Loma Nazarene, and to punch their ticket to the Elite Eight. So now the Yotes will try to take the next step in winning a potential national championship. So that Elite Eight game is going to be on Tuesday night. So as we record this Sports Weekly, they will go into their Tuesday night Elite Eight game against Lincoln Memorial from the state of Tennessee. If the Yotes win that one, they would play in the national semifinals on Thursday, and if they win that one, they would go all the way to the Division II national championship game. This is the 4th time in Yotes program history that they've made it to the Elite Eight. So head coach Andy Newman really likes this squad. He knows that they have been special from the very, very start. And now they're trying to finish the job. They're trying to bring back a national championship to San Bernardino. So we'll see if Cal State can get the job done. First things first, though, they won the West Region title against Point Loma, and they are playing some really good basketball right now. Here is head coach Andy Newman talking about this year's squad, and man, how fun it has been to be a part of this year's team. And welcome everyone to the show. He is the head men's basketball coach of Cal State San Bernardino, and the Yotes are headed to the Elite Eight for the fourth time in program history. It is CSUSB head coach Andy Newman. And Coach Newman, you know, I was following your team along through the postseason with the live streams and whatnot. And I always, it was great. I really appreciated that you said you had a front row seat to this really good Cal State team this year and some really good players. And obviously you got to have a great head coach, and I know you're probably too modest to say it, but you're right. You have a really good team. You had the front row seat. What was it like watching your guys perform at such a high level during this playoff run?
Well, you know, it was really fun, Pep. I mean, you know, we're so talented, as you can see. I mean, we have so much depth. Probably the most depth we've had here, definitely at Cal State San Bernardino, but maybe that I've coached in my career, certainly at the Division II level. So it really was. I mean, I wish I could take some credit for it, but honestly, we're just we're really talented. Our guys have really bought into playing together, and you know, they're just they're really fun to watch. And the thing that makes us really good is you really, you know, we can score at every position, and then coming off the bench, you know, we can score coming off. And sometimes we're better with some of those guys, and our you know, we make some really good runs that way. So I really am, you know, this time of year I'm just trying to stay out of their way because, you know, August, September, October, I've been grinding on them, and they're probably tired of hearing Coach Newman talk about play together and shot selection and defend with everything you got. And so now they've all kind of bought into that. Coaching themselves, and that's when it gets really good, you know, when they're doing it from inside themselves instead of somebody making them do it, as anybody knows. That's when you really get 100% buy-in, and things start going in your direction, which they certainly have for us.
So real quick, here's a look at the Division II bracket. There's Cal State San Bernardino in the bottom left-hand corner. Again, taking on Lincoln Memorial from Tennessee in the Elite Eight. If they win that game, they go to the semifinals. That would be the Final Four. They'll take on the winner of Nova Southeastern, which is the number one seed, and the University of Missouri St. Louis. So we'll keep an eye on the Yotes, and we'll give you an update on the next Sports Weekly on IEMG. All right, we come back here on this edition of the show. We've got some great softball and baseball highlights coming your way, including the County Clash. That's next here on Sports Weekly on IEMG.